Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Hey, it's your friendly Israelite, Kasamak Banya Shirala, with my Ak.
Shalom.
Hey, T. Gene, or Tan Allen, a.k.a. Lil Bro. So we about to run up in here and hit this little 9-pin no tap tournament. He came in town to hang out with me. Just something a little fun, something a little fun. So, I'll show you what's going on. I hope to put up a decent number. With 9-pin, it should be, 850 or higher, really, 830, 850 or higher to probably do something. But at any rate, it's a fun little thing. And we really should be keeping it clean today with that 9-pin.
Let's go.
With that 9-pin, we keeping it clean today. Hey, I'll get back at you, though. Okay, first shot with the Jackal Ghost. Looks good off the hand. 10 straight back. This was Tan's first shot. He had a little bit of nerves being tournament time. He came down, so we skipped to the next shot. We got a better one. So here's his first strike. Second frame with first strike, and that one looked pretty good. Yeah, I missed in on that one a little bit, so it came up a little high for the 610. And we'll run this one down, I think. Let's see what we do here. Nope, we chop it. So already, first open, we chop it. But we bounce back, though. This game was a little tough. We only shot 230, I think it was. For no tap, that's, there's a strike there, so we're going to strike a decent amount, but that early open was not favorable. So here's Tan again. It's like third, fourth frame, and he leaves a 10-pin. And so we're working at it. Allen was starting to feel it. That was a good shot by him right there. He's starting to get relaxed and get comfortable. So that was good. He was playing right around 5, 6. I was closer to around 9, 10. This house shot has a pretty good hard oil line right around 10, 11. So I started playing off of, we had a lot of people to the right of us. The majority of the people on the lane was to the right of us, including one of my lead teammates. You'll see a few shots that he gets, but he was throwing right around that same area. So we were just carving a hole, trying to blend out the shot. So we're doing okay.
Oh yeah. There's one other person I'm missing, but will you hand those to whoever?
Yeah,
I
sure.
appreciate you.
You know it's a good one when I post them like that. That was a great shot right there. When I post them like that, that usually is a good thing. I mean, I try to post all my shots, whether they're good or bad. That equals good balance. That means you have good balance. And when you have good balance, you're going to have good leverage at the bottom when you're releasing the ball. And when you have good leverage, that actually helps them to increase. So I like to post my shots. And I'll try to hold that pose until the ball hits the pins. It's long gone by then, out of my hand, obviously, but I really do try to hold the pose. That's been kind of a trademark of mine, just holding that pose as long as I can. And so that's good. That's good leverage. So here's our guy. That's one of my teammates right there, Daryl Banks. He's also the president of the team here in Denver. And he throws a pretty good ball. He's only been bowling a couple years, but he throws a pretty good ball. Stays at the back of it. He's fairly straight. Throws it kind of hard and straight. And he repeats it pretty well for just being a few years in. And so he was throwing the ball real well. He shot 300 his first game. There's a few 9 pins in there, but, a 9-pin no-tap tournament, you should have one, if not two, 300s, There was a guy that won the scratch division of this tournament who shot 900. All 3 games, he shot 300. I did not see him throwing the ball. He did that on the first shift in the morning. So I didn't see that one. I bowled the second and the third shift. There were only 3 shifts for this tournament. But he shot 900. So, good, big up to him. And it looks like I must have double wood right here. And that's something, double wood, so that's like the 2-8. The pins are behind, one right behind the others, double wood. So the 2-8 for, on the left side and the 3-9 on the right side as you're looking at the pins. So typically for a right-hander, they'll leave the 2-8. Left-hander will leave the 3-9. And before I took my break, or when I used to bowl when I was younger, I should say, double wood always gave me problems. But as of recently, though, I just finally figured out, I just moved my feet 5 boards right, and I hit the same target. And on these house patterns especially, it's I've been pretty consistent, pretty good at it. So it's been okay. And coming up on the end of the game here, Tan got that one a little bit right, I can tell. But you see, he carries that 4-pin. It looks like a 4-pin anyway. It is a little farther away. I'm still working on getting my microphones so I can be kind of commentating while I'm bowling. Because I actually talk a lot about bowling. I talk to myself. I talk about what's going on, and kind of in the moment is better for me. But I'll get there. We're just starting. Just kind of getting this thing started, but. We wanted to be able to at least give you a picture of our approach, and you can see kind of the result. Maybe not all the details of the result, but that is another 9-pin strike for Tan. We kind of started feeling better about it, and I had another 8 count because I'm shooting a spare. I didn't like that, but again, this first game was only 230, so I knew that I had to do better than that. So here's Daryl's final frame, 10th frame for his 300. Again, I already said that he got it, so there's no suspense around. I thought I'd give you the last 2 shots. They were good shots, except for this last one. This was a very interesting shot. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but he did lose it a little bit and kind of caved in, and got some. He got some blessed pin carry, let's say. But he got the 300 nonetheless on the 9-pin no tap, so that was good for me.
President.
So you'll notice when he releases the ball, and I'm just noticing now as I'm kind of rewatching this back, he'll kind of pull back, he'll pull the string out of it, similar to basketball. Like when you shoot the shot, if you don't follow through or you follow through really quick and you pull your hand back down, he'll pull his hand back down after his release. I'll talk to him about that. He'll watch this video and he'll see the commentary that you want to leave that follow through up there a little bit longer, because you could get in the habit of, if you're pulling your hand down too soon, you might not quite be out of the ball all the way, and that could affect your release. So you want to release the ball, have that follow through, and give it a second before you kind of bring your hand down. You don't want to see how his hands coming down very quickly. You don't want to give yourself that opportunity to still kind of be in the ball when you're bringing your hand down already. But he's throwing the ball well. I'm throwing the ball well, but that's just an observation that I have. And on his release, when he's kind of following through, his hand comes right back down. I would want to see that hand stay up there a little bit longer, just for the follow through purpose. Run away! That was a light hit that I got away with. That's why I walked away like that. Just the light hit kind of shake him up, domino effect a little bit. So I'm running away. I'm getting out of there while I can. I'll take that strike. That was a good one for Tan. I was telling him to disappear nice and quick. That was a good one.
They will be fast. So help us out. And we do appreciate you guys coming out here for the Denver Bowling City. And if you would like to become a member of the Denver Bowling City, you can see any of us here at the table where you signed up.
I got away with that one. That one went a little high, caved in. So I made a move. I just made a 1-and-1 left. Made a little move just to get away from that. But I got away with that one. And you see my move was good. 1-and-1 left, one with my feet, one with my eyes. That's what that means. And that next one was flush.
Everybody's scorecard because he's like me. You gotta keep track and make sure everybody write that down.
So at this point, I actually have 10 in a row. Natural strikes. There were 0 9-pin no taps. These were 10 real strikes. Here goes number 11, and I had no idea. I think because of some of the shaker ones, the ones that went high and kind of fell late, I thought that I had a 9-pin no tap in there, but I wasn't really paying attention to the score. I was just kind of focused on throwing the ball. So this was for an actual real 300. I mean, I wouldn't got credit for it because of the 9-pin no tap tournament. But yeah, I missed right. So I got into the dry part of the ring too soon, and it hooked up and went through the face for a 7 count. So a 297. But it was 11 real strikes in a row. I had no idea. But that was a really well bowled game. I had the one shaker strike that I kind of danced off the lane with, and then I had the one that I kind of went high and got away with. But I had some really good shots that game for 297.
But still, it's a good game. That's pretty darn good.
So what you heard me talking to a lady who was there watching somebody else, and they was really hoping that I would get a 300 because of course they seen the score. I said I didn't realize I was on the natural 300, but she was asking if I had ever bowled a 300 before, and I have. In my prime, I would say, the height of my career, back when I was really bowling a lot, and probably too much to be honest with you, when it was, my main focus. I think I got it to I know I got it to 14. Me and a buddy of mine, Mike Brecken, we had a contest going because we had about the same number, right around 7 or 8. And so we were racing to 10. I think we were the first to 10. I won that. I think we bet like 10 or 20 bucks or something like that. But it was fun. He's a good bowler too. And so that was fun. And then I, had a few more before I finally took a break. Really, I retired at that time. I didn't think I was ever going to bowl again. But what I did before that, I never had the privilege of bowling back-to-back 300s. So there's a few people that have had back-to-back 300s. I mean, obviously, you may not know, but I think a lot of people that watch this probably know about bowling. They like bowling. In a 3-game series, the perfect series is 900. And we just recently had the 43rd person to do it. I believe he was from Kentucky, left-handed guy, just shot 300s in a row in league. So to do something like that in practice is not, it doesn't count. I mean, as far as like being for the record. You have to do it in league or tournament, sanctioned league or tournament. So whether it's TNBA, which is the National Bowling Association, or USBC, the United States Bowling Congress, it has to be sanctioned by one of those two governing bodies for it to be technically considered a legal honor score. So he had a 900 just recently, which was the 43rd, but I never got back-to-back 300s. I did, however, at one point, one of the last tournaments I bowled, I had 300 one day, and then came back the next day. It was a state tournament, and it was on a challenge pattern. So it wasn't a house shot. It was more of a, more of a difficult shot. I don't know if it was sport. I can't remember what it was, but I remember it was a challenge pattern. It was not a house shot, and I just was throwing the ball really well. And so shot 300 one day for singles, for team. Came back the next day and then shot 300 for doubles or singles. I think I played the single set and got pretty close to winning first in singles in a state, which, Minnesota, that state has a lot of good bowlers, I mean, you got guys like, probably one of the more recognizable names is going to be Matt McNeil, who's still out there. He's a Storm rep now, but he holds the record, I believe, for USBC Nationals. He has for singles and for all events. It might have been broken by now, but I know his all event score was like 2,400 plus for 9 games, which is crazy. And when he did it was even crazy. It's still ridiculous now. Really good bowler. He was a little behind me as far as age, and I didn't compete against him as a junior. I have friends that were a little younger than me that did compete against him as a junior. But so that's one. You got the Lens Lakers it's a very popular, a very well-known team from Minnesota. They had guys like Sam Lanto, Johnny's, and those are probably the 2 names that kind of stick out. And Matt McNeil was part of that team. But growing up, there's another name that's escaping me. A couple more names that were really good bowlers. Chuck Bashaw was another one. He's a left-hander. But those, Lens Lakers was the top team in Minnesota for a long time. But there's a lot of good other teams in Minnesota. A lot of really good bowlers. John Cryer, he got an eagle. There's Chad Nelson and Dan Bach. For the better part of probably 15 years, they were the top 2 bowlers in the state. Like those guys, and they were on the team of the Locker guys. It was a really strong team. I had a buddy of mine, Pat Humphrey, who was on their team for many years. He was a really good bowler. So he and I grew up kind of bowling together. We met when we were in 9th grade, and he was kind of punk rock, or heavy metal, I should say. Heavy metal, and it looks like I got away with it. I'm dancing right there, y'all. I'm dancing. Oh, no, I got away with one. It must have been Shaker. It's hard to see. Oh, no. That was a pocket 17. That was a pocket 17, which I have left a few times in this house. And so it happens. And I try to keep it light. My days of being super serious and competing and all that are behind me. So, I try to keep it light. And I actually ended up bowling at 287 for the last game here. So I had a pretty decent set. And I was just in the scratch division. I don't get the handicap. The handicap was 240. It was 90% of 240. So,
Shalom, Israel. It's the friendly Israelite, Kasamak. Done with the first shift. I bowled pretty good. I had a rocky start. A couple of opens on a 9-pin no tap is not good. Managed 235, which sounds great, but not when you're 9-pin no tap. But then I went 297, 287. The 297, and you'll see, was actually natural. I almost shot a natural 300, which is crazy. And then the 287 got to the 10th frame, got the first one in the 10th, and then pocket 17. Just the way it goes. It's good for an 819 in the scratch division, which there's not many people in the scratch division, so it's probably top 5 now. But we finna hit this second one, try to do better, try to improve on our scores. But we out here having fun, and we out here doing our best, whether in life or on the lanes. We keeping it clean. Let's go.
Pretty good. Good prices and stuff. Okay, so what I did for both me and Tan before the start of this second set for us, which was the third and final shift, was I cleaned our balls and I sanded them. Well, I just hit them with the 2000 grit, 2000 grit pad, just to put a little bit more surface back on it, because especially for Tan's ball, it was definitely skating down the lane a little more than he probably wanted it to, more than I even wanted it to, looking at it. And I knew that putting some surface on it would help pick up the roll earlier. Obviously, that's what it does, and allow him to be a little bit more consistent. So first couple shots, a couple bad breaks for him. And the other thing was we also had a left. So we went from the first set, we had 6 on our pair. Everybody was right-handed. And everybody, for the most part, played to the right. So the lanes changed a little bit more. Well, now it's just 4 on the pair. One of them is a left-hander, and he ended up winning his division, by the way. He bowled really good. The lefty, Steven is his name. And then the other guy was playing more right around 15. So me and Tan was around 6, 7. I was around 6, 7. I was around like 9, 10, 11. I think I finished up around 11, but I started around 9. And it worked out real well. Tan had a really good set. Now, he wasn't able to verify his average because both he and I haven't bowled leads for a few years. So he bowled a league this year, but he didn't have the league standing sheet to verify his average, because they would have taken that. I mean, I know it's a 9-pin no tap tournament, but to get handicapped, I mean, you don't want somebody coming in there and cheating or whatever. So, and I get it, that was no problem. So he had to bowl scratch. So bowling scratch, he still only finished like 6 places out of cashing on this set. He did really well. And so I'm throwing the ball well. I'm feeling really good, and I had a much better start. Although, I mean, spoiler alert, I didn't score as well this time. So the first set I had 819, and I believe this set I only finished with 799. So about 20 pins less, which is 1 mark. But I didn't have that big letdown game. They were all more consistent. It's just I didn't have the. Oh no! I take that back. I did have a big letdown game, and that's why I had 799. I believe I shot maybe 220 in one of these games. I can't remember, but it'll play and you'll see. But I am throwing the ball well. I'm throwing the ball well, pretty consistently. That wasn't very consistent. Got to the outside and hooked up on me, and it happens. Yeah, in fact, I believe this is the game. I think I started with a lower game. But, I wanted to also just talk about why I'm calling it Keeping It Clean, giving you guys a little bit of background for the channel early on here. So, for those who know me through the course of my life, I've had really kind of three passions, and the first one being the Most High. I'm very passionate about my relationship with the Most High. A lot of people will say God, and for a long part of my life, I was a professing Christian. And then around 2016, I woke up, as they say, to my heritage, to our heritage, who we are. We are the biblical Israelites. And so with that, I made some major changes in my life. Left Christianity, left the church, stopped going to church on Sundays, started observing the Sabbath day. But even before that, whether it wasn't Christianity, because I was very sincere with my faith, and even after coming to know who I am, who we are, still very passionate and very sincere. People who know me know that about me. The second would be family. I'm definitely a family man. I knew at the age of 12 that I wanted a family. I wanted to be a husband and a father. And that's what I wanted to be, not a fireman or a policeman or a big baller or a ghetto star or anything like that. I wanted to be a husband and a father. And so, and I've done it. I am. I'm a husband and a father. So, and then the third is bowling. Bowling for me started when I was around 11, 12, right when my mom and dad split up. But the spark in me started when I was younger because we have family from the Quad Cities, Rock Island, Illinois specifically. So Quad Cities, Rock Island is one, Moline, East Moline, and then Davenport. That's a little pocket, a little corner down there in southeast Iowa, and then like kind of northwest Illinois, that little corner right there. And so what would happen when we were younger, when I was younger, cousins, and then specifically my grandfather, who lived in Rock Island, they would come up for a weekend or a week or whatever it was, and then on Friday or Saturday night, they would go bowling, and I'd always want to go, but they wouldn't let me go because it was nighttime. It's going to be a different crowd there. But I knew, I just wanted to be there, so that kind of sparked my wanting to learn how to bowl, just to go be with my dad and grandpa and cousins and whatever. Because I just in my mind they had a lot of fun. I would hear the stories and they would talk about who's the better bowler and all that. And in East Moline or the Quad Cities, really bowling is huge because there's not a lot to do down there. So a lot of people bowl and they're good at it. My grandpa was a good bowler. So when my mom and dad broke up and my mom moved us out to the suburbs, Crystal, Minnesota, at that time was a suburb, no longer, of course, for those in Minnesota. And I was like 2 blocks from this bowling center called Doyle's. Doyle's was an old spot, but maybe 3 blocks, something like that, quarter mile, whatever. But that was the first place that I ran to. Here's Steven. This is the guy that he won his division, the left-hander. He was throwing the ball so well.
Very good.
That thing was just walking into the pocket. He was repeating shots too, though. He wasn't throwing it all over the place. Like, he was repeating shots very well, and it was just walking into the pocket. He shoots 300 this first game. So, I found myself down at Doyle's, first thing, and then joined the league because my thing was, I'm going to learn how to bowl so I can go beat my dad and cousins and especially my grandpa, who was supposed to be the best bowler in the family. And so that's what I did, and that's where I spent all my time. I got on Saturday morning leagues, junior leagues, and even as I started, as a teenager and hanging out with friends, and we would be hanging out on Friday night, get into whatever we're getting into. But I would still make it a point, like, I got to get home. I got bowling in the morning, and they make fun of me. You got bowling? What? That's just we're crazy. That's weak, But I didn't care. I really wanted to do it, and I really wanted to be good at it. I was driven, and it has been a great passion in my life. And I've been able to do a few things. Of course, when you're younger, and especially as a black or African American, what you might say. I'm an Israelite, that isn't my nationality, but for regular conversation, I get it. As a little young black kid, we want to be basketball stars and football stars and baseball stars. I wanted to be a professional bowler. I really did. And, I worked hard, and I did not get there, obviously. I found out how good those guys really are. I mean, when you watch professional bowling on TV, they are so much better. And that's one of the biggest problems with bowling is learning how can bowling really translate the high level caliber that these guys really are. It's almost impossible. They haven't been able to do it yet. Back in the 60s and the 70s, it was huge. Bowling was a huge thing. There was big money and people were really good at it. And then, the money once the money went down, the popularity went down, and it's just they've been struggling. Bowling has been struggling to kind of get that popularity back up again, especially because they really can't even match with the money. When you got your average athletes in these other big four, hockey, basketball, football, baseball, that's just here in the States, but don't even talk about soccer, because that's worldwide. But when you have average players making millions of dollars, or even just $1 million contract, and you have to be, one of the top 5 bowlers in the world, going tournament to tournament to get to that kind of level of money, it's not going to be very attractive for young people. So that's what really makes it tough. So, but at any rate, I digress. Bowling's been a passion for me. So took some time off. Again, I never intended to get back into it. One of the biggest reasons is a lot of stuff, especially tournament bowling, because I did like tournament bowling. Again, I didn't make it professionally, but I did compete against them, and that's how I found out how much better they are than me. Did some national tournaments and bowled the Masters a few times, and I was high in the state of Minnesota for a few years. I was one of the better bowlers. People recognized my name, and I got respect because I put in the work. And so I wasn't a slouch by any means, but then going up against those professionals at those professional tournaments, it was a different story. So, but it's been one of my passions, and I let it go because a lot of stuff does happen on Saturdays, and that's the Sabbath day. That is the Most High's day. He's commanded us to observe that day, to rest. There's a missed spirit right there. This is probably the game that was not a good one for me. I just missed that. I think I chopped the 5. I think it was like 5-8. I missed that one, so this is probably the bad game. But anyway, so I was, I love him the most. I love the Most High the most. So if you say the Most High or anything else, I'm going to choose the Most High. That's just who I am. That is my life. That is my decision. So the Most High or bowling, I'm going to choose the Most High. And I know that, well, you don't have to bowl tournaments. You could just bowl. You could have stayed bowling leagues, and that is correct. I could have. But for me, because I am so competitive, I prefer tournament bowling over league bowling. I always have. I wanted to compete. I wanted to go out there and put your skills to the test. Tournament bowling is more difficult than league bowling. Not just because usually the shot, the oil pattern they put out is a little tougher. Even if they put out a house pattern, just the way tournaments work, you start on one pair of lanes, you bowl one game, and then you move to a different pair of lanes where other people were bowling, and it might not be the same. And so you have to really be paying attention. You have to be able to read the lane, to read what your ball is doing, to repeat shots so you can get an accurate read, and then you have to have endurance. And one of the biggest places of endurance that a bowler needs to have is mentally. You have to be mentally, you have to be able to mentally endure. I remember a lot of times after tournaments, especially if I did well, if I went deep into the tournament, afterwards, I'd crash. I would be just dead tired. Not because it was physical, but because of the mental. And that's really where, that was a good shot by Tim. That's really where you know, that's where it separates the good bowlers from the great bowlers. There are a lot of really good bowlers that have really good physical games. I was one of them. I mean, different coaches, from local coaches to national coaches, have told me you have a really good game. So that's not unusual. There's a lot of people that have really good games. The thing that separates bowlers is their mental toughness, their ability to read what the lane is doing or what the lane is calling for, and then having the versatility in their game to do that. If it's better to throw the ball a little bit faster or a little bit slower, can you do that? Changing your release so that the ball either might roll more end over end, so it's more kind of rolling forward versus more side to side. That will change what your ball does when it hits the dry lanes. Another good ball from Steven. It's 9-pin no tap. So he had some of those too. He was banging that pocket all day. That's what. And here's the one guy that was playing more inside, so we didn't have to really worry about him. So me and Tan, we really didn't have to move at all on this set. It was nice. I mean, I almost kind of started moving and almost tricked myself, but I took that into consideration. Like, it's just me and him. So more than likely, I mean, and I was repeating shots, so I ended up moving a little bit, but they didn't have to be big moves. It was really just one with my feet, one with my eyes. And then I could sit there for a little bit. And then it was one with my feet, one with my eyes. Now, there were a couple times where I did try to do two with my feet, one with my eyes, and it will come up light. And that's probably some of those spares that I left. But I mean, that's probably one of them right there. And then I would, I'd go right back. I'd say, you know what, that's too early. I don't need to do that. And I go right back. So that's kind of my, a little bit of my origin story, how I kind of fell in love with bowling. I would be up at Doyle's so much that eventually, they started letting me bowl free games, or they'd have pity on me because I didn't have monies. I would just sit there and I would watch. I'd go up there on the men's night, which back then, I want to say it was Thursday nights even back then. It was the really strong men's league. And there was a few of us, black bowlers up there that were really good. One's name was Jim Payton. I remember him. Jim Payton. He had hand. That boy he was a big dude too. Big dude, but he had a lot of hand. He was a really good bowler. But there was also another guy who one of the early guys that kind of took interest in me. His name was Mike Marco. He was a good guy. He taught me some things. I don't think he ran a pro shop, but he was like a rep of some kind because I bought like my shoes through him. He was one of the first guys that I remember having a ball bag that had wheels on it. And I bought one. I had one. It was a Cobra. I don't know if anybody remembers the old Cobra balls, but it was a Cobra bag, and it was a 2-ball bag, but it had like basically a flat panel underneath with coasters on it, 4 wheels on it. And I would use the strap to pull the bag. And so, which came in handy because back then, I'm living in Crystal, but I was going to school in Minneapolis, in Washburn, bowling for the Washburn high school team. So I had to get on the city bus, 2 city buses, in fact. But that came in real handy because up until then, I had this old school gray bag that just had 2 hard handles on it. And back then, when I first started, I was throwing 16 pounds. So now I'm carrying 32 pounds to school on these buses. These public transportation. One bus from Crystal downtown Minneapolis, and then from downtown Minneapolis up to Washburn, South Minneapolis, where Washburn was. And so it really came in handy when I was finally able to get that bag with the wheels on it. Man, that was nice. I mean, it was a little heavier because the board underneath added a little bit of weight, and those coasters were, a little bit bigger. The wheels were a little bit bigger, but I didn't care. It was carrying it for just a few seconds or lifting it up for a few seconds versus carrying it the whole time. I could just pull that thing behind me. People would make fun of me. I mean, they make fun of me. You got your puppy and, you got your pet and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't care. I loved it that much. I love the sport that much. I didn't care. You talk about me all you want. Call me corny, weird, nerdy, whatever. I really enjoyed it. And, that really helped me to just keep at it, keep bowling, and that eventually would run me into more coaches and give me more exposure, more help to refine my game and continue progressing to where probably by sophomore year, I was one of the stronger bowlers on our high school team. And high school bowling back then was, it was, kind of getting started as far as, city league. Battling other teams in the, in the city and stuff like that. Not just being kind of intramural within the school, but you're battling other schools. And I was one of the stronger bowlers, probably as early as my sophomore year in high school. And so we made it to state, I want to say 3 out of my 4 years in high school. And our best finish, I wanted something like 6th or 7th, something like that. 6th, there it is again. Yeah, it was a fun times. It was a lot of fond memories made, and that's the kind of work that we put in. It's crazy now. Of course, high school bowling, these bowlers are so good, so much good coaching, and with the two-handers and the equipment, and it's, they put in some work. That was a bad start. I want to say that was the only miss I had for that game. I can't remember. It'll be better once I have a microphone too. I talk a lot even when I'm bowling. So then I can explain things as they're happening, especially with this viewpoint. Until I graduate, these early videos are going to be a little more rudimentary. And get a cameraman later on, he can zoom in and you can see things. That'll be a little bit different, but we'll get there. So, but it was a lot of fun back in high school with bowling and all the things that I had to go through and prove that I really did love the game, because it was wasn't a whole lot of people, a whole lot of mom dropping me off and picking me up, and I was on the bus with my equipment. And I remember my first pair of shoes I finally was able to get a pair of Lens. I got black Lens. Back then, the all-white pair was super popular. Everybody had the white pair. Not me, I wanted black. And that guy Mike Marcourt, the guy that was, helping me out in the beginning, he had a black pair, which is why I liked them. Because I seen somebody wearing them, I was like, oh, those are cold, those were dope. So that was my first pair. My first pair was a pair of black Lens. And so, but yeah, he helped me a lot, and Jim would talk to me a little bit too, but he really didn't coach me at all. But I've always enjoyed watching bowling. I still enjoy watching bowling. Not all bowlers even like watching bowling. I know a lot do, but not all of them. I know bowlers are like, I don't like watching bowling. It's boring. They'd rather just go and bowl, and that's fine. It's not going to be for everybody, but I've always been able to watch it, even watching this back and enjoying the time that I spent with Tan, who came, coming down and bowling with me, and it was enjoyable.
Not including the fair ball.
This was a good game for Tan too. I think he shot 250 this game. He had 260 the second game. I'm pretty sure this is the third game, but he had 250 this game. And you know, the funny thing was Steven, the guy on our pair, he wanted to, you know, he give fives when, you know, congratulate somebody, have a strike or a spare or whatever. But I like my hand to stay dry, so I'll usually hold like a dry sack. It has powder in it, and it just keeps your hand dry, keeps moisture off your hand, because if you get moisture on your hand, sometimes your hand can stick, your fingers can stick in the ball, and it changes the release, or, you know, your hand doesn't get out of the ball on time. So I keep my hand dry. So he kept trying to give me a 5 for the strikes for him or for me, but I would give him a pound because I keep my hands closed, because I didn't want my hand to get wet. It was just sweaty. I got away with it right there, because I believe this is the third game, and I finally shot 300. So I almost shot a natural 300 the first set. Wasn't able to get it twice, actually, because I had 297, 287. I had the front 11, and then I had the front 10. And then finally, third game, so the last game of the day, the final set, I finally made the 300. There's a lot of purple strikes. I think it was half and half, but I don't care. It got me $32 because I was in the 300 pot. So, you know, a few of us did it. We all split it. Whoever got in it, you know, if you got a 300, you split it. So I should have gotten it maybe 3 times, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. It was a fun time. It was a fun tournament. Well ran. And this is the second time that I bowled their 9-pin no tap tournament. And there it goes. Hey, I did it. Yay. And both times I've been able to manage a 300. And both times it was the last game of the set, or last game of the day for me. So imagine that. At any rate, appreciate y'all watching and tuning in. Hope you enjoyed what you seen and what you heard. And, you know, don't forget to...
Shalom, shalom. It's Kasamak. We finished up. And, yeah, you seen what I did. I finally got that 300. It took me 3 tries today. Went 297, 287. Finally got that 300 the last game. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of them were 9-pin or no taps, but I don't care. I'm taking purple strikes today. They are purple for us. Oh, my man just missed having two 300s. But anyway, Tan did a lot better too. He shot 260, 250, 200. Well, 200, 260, 250 in that order. And some change. But we out here doing it, though. We had a lot of fun. We kept it clean. I think I did miss 1 spare that first game, because that's how I got a 220. Second game, 221. I went 278, 221, 300. So we'll see what that does. But at any rate, we had a lot of fun out here. And, you know, whether in life or on the lanes, we keeping it clean, y'all. We keeping it clean.
And I'm in the 300 pot.